I love going to see new works. Works that are still fledgling, growing, nursing itself into maturity. It allows you to see the raw vision of its creators and their hopes before it gets revised and revisited until it becomes a finished product, which may be completely different from what they originally envisioned. You see the nuggets of potential and a spark that can hopefully be a quality show in the future. Greetings, friends, and welcome to episode 41 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater across Connecticut and New York. Today I am reviewing Nickel Mines, a new musical conceived by Andrew Palermo, with music and lyrics by Dan Dyler and book by Shannon Stoeke and Andrew Palermo, running through January 30th at ACT of Connecticut. That's a contemporary theater of Connecticut, located at 36 Old Quarry Road in Ridgefield. Nickel Mines is set in Barts County Township in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and follows the events and aftermath of October 2nd, 2006, when Charles Carl Roberts IV entered the West Nickel Mines School, an Amish schoolhouse, and shot 10 girls, killing 5 of them before killing himself. For such dark subject matter, Nickel Mines doesn't dwell too long on the actual hostage-taking and shooting. That scene is pretty much presented in one song that takes maybe 5 minutes of the 80-plus minute runtime, and Roberts is only on stage for about 2 seconds. Instead of playing the tension of the murders and giving prominence to Roberts, Palermo, Dyler, and Stoeke have chosen to spend most of the show focusing on the testimonies and the devastation of its aftermath, and the recovery that the people make for themselves. Nickel Mines draws on a number of musical predecessors. Morgan Hollingsworth, who plays Samuel, who was courting Marion, who was 13 at the time when she was killed, is sort of an analog of the balladeer from Stephen Sondheim's Assassins, playing guitar on stage and setting the scene throughout the show. The generally folk music compositions of Dyler are also reminiscent of the musical Once, and the story, with its message of hope and forgiveness, definitely has parallels to Come From Away. At this point, these progenitors of Nickel Mines are all definitely superior than their heir. But Nickel Mines does have some shining moments, and with some reframing, could be a cohesive and enjoyable show. Most of the show's quality comes from Dyler's music, particularly near the end, where there is a chorus number, which I believe is titled The Happening. The program isn't very clear as to which songs are which. I would like to see that laid out better, like who's singing which songs, like most musical programs do. That chorus number feels fully developed and evolved versus some of the other ones, which feel like they're still working out some of the composition of it. There's also a duet between Marion's mother and Robert's wife that is also quite lovely. The program doesn't designate which actors are playing what roles and singing what songs, so I don't want to accidentally attribute someone to something they didn't do. Those two ladies are wonderful in that piece. The problem with Nickel Mines is its attempt at a non-linear narrative. Not that I'm against non-linear storytelling, I'm fine with it, but here it lacks definition for the character's sake. This may be intentional, but if it is, it doesn't work. We spend much of the show wondering who the characters are and what their relationships are with the girls. Samuel is defined quickly, as well as Roberts' wife, but all the other characters tend to leave me wondering what their role is in the story. By the end, I think the intent is to have these little surprise reveals, but they don't really pay off. I'd rather see Samuel and his father interact earlier and have those relationships built, so when the conflict builds, Marion's family's conflict can be better defined if established earlier as well. Same with Rosanna, I think her name was, a 6-year-old who was shot and survived, and the relationship she and her father builds with a certain lady in its aftermath. I won't reveal who she is. Instead, the beginning of the show tends to focus on developing some of the culture of the Amish community and how they respond to the shooting. I'm fine with developing their culture, but it can be done also while introducing the characters and giving them identities. It will allow us to connect more with their conflicts and better empathize with them and their suffering and better understand why they respond the way they do. There are some little things also that could use some work and other things that were rather intriguing and daring. Some of the vocals were off key. It didn't happen often, but they did pop up occasionally, particularly during some of the ensemble numbers. There were also some audio issues with the balancing of the voices. At one point, there was a soprano that was just blasting out the rest of the ensemble. I'm like, whoa, either pull her back or bring everybody else up, because it was very obvious as to that one voice that was sticking out. But what I did like that I didn't initially know if I was going to accept was Palermo's modern dance elements that the girls had. It initially felt a bit too anachronistic for Amish girls to not just dance, but dance like this, but it worked. And I, in the end, had no problems with it. I enjoyed it for the interpretation that it presented, almost as if this modern world twisted them into this dance that is so unfamiliar to who they are and their world. Nickel Mines has potential. It does have a bit of work it still needs to do before it becomes a cohesive product, but I do have hope for it. And with its message, I hope that it comes together a bit more fruitful than where it currently stands. And that is one man's opinion of Nickel Mines at ACT of Connecticut. Be sure to leave your opinion in the comments below. If you would like to get tickets for Nickel Mine, I'll leave a link to the website in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe to get notifications of future reviews. My next review will be the national tour of What the Constitution Means to Me. So I hope you are all doing well, and I'll see you at the theater.